And a big welcome to Tame Your Talent, Brad J. It is I am your host of Tame Your Talent, bringing the podcast to you on Sunday. Welcome to your Sunday. What is the 14th day of November? Good to be in the hot seat, in the saddle with you here. And then talking about the big things, man. Friday. Last show I didn't do a show on Saturday, but I try to always do 6 shows a week. So Monday through Friday, and then I just whatever I do on Saturday or Sunday, just kind of alternate. So didn't do a show yesterday, but did a show on Friday, and I want to talk about that. But first off, Tame Your Talent is on YouTube. I'm also going to be doing my podcast on YouTube as well. So I'll upload them to SoundCloud, and then I'll also upload them to my YouTube page at Tame Your Talent as well, to give other people opportunities who may not have SoundCloud, who just want to be able to get it. So there you go. Tame Your Talent on YouTube. Give me a subscribe. Let me say that again. Subscribe to my page right there. Easy for me to say. It's a Sunday. It's a tough one. All right. Tame Your Talent on YouTube and also Tame Your Talent on Facebook. And I'm Brad J., your host, 20 plus year veteran action sports and mainstream sports announcer, TV commentator. You can follow me at Brad JAYMC on all the social fronts. Brad JAYMC. Also do a radio show Monday through Friday in the beautiful city of Santa Barbara, California. And you can tune into my radio show on the West Coast, 7 p.m. till midnight. Classic rock, that's what I spin. And that happens Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. till midnight, West Coast time. So Pacific Standard Time to hear my show. And where do you hear the show? Yeah, I should probably tell you, right? KTYD.com. We are called K-Tide. It's KTYD.com. Now, if you're in Santa Barbara, you can pick it up on the radio at 99.9. But for those of you, and there's a lot of you, I look at where all the people are listening from, and you can't get the reception. So you can listen to my show, KTYD.com. Tomorrow night, Monday, I'll be on 7 to midnight. There you go. Great weekend. Hope you had a good weekend, too, as well. I had a pretty good one. Remember on the last show on Friday, I was talking about going Hollywood. And I got to act in my first ever movie, right? I mean, I've been in like movie school projects where people that went to film school put a project together. So there was a story that they did a movie about me a long time ago as a DJ for the radio station. That was back in the 90s. But this was the first time I was actually in a movie, and I told you about the movie. If you didn't, let me give you a little backstory if you don't know about it. There was an elderly couple that used to live behind me here in La Conchita, and they passed away recently, within the last year, both of them. And this is a movie about their life. Now, the couple that used to go on tour for the USO and entertain troops all overseas. So they had this little shtick that they did, and so the family has always been kind of in the movie industry, lighting and what have you. The family is putting this on. And Sean, the director of this movie, is a friend of mine, and he lives in the house now that his grandparents used to live in. So they're doing a movie about them. And so we went down to the beach on Friday, which the beach at my house is seriously like 2.5 blocks. You walk down. We have this cool beach tunnel that goes underneath Highway 101. It empties out right on the beach. And so we shot the scene where it was like at a chili cook-off, which we used to have here a lot in this town, and I was the MC. So in the movie, I play an MC, which that's what I do. So it's not really a stretch for me, but I got to play an MC, and I'm basically introducing the elderly guy who passed away. His name is Bob. So I'm introducing him, so he's comes up on stage and does his shtick. So we're shooting the movie on the beach, and the plan was to shoot the movie from like 3:30 to shoot the scenes that they needed me for till about 8:30. That was the plan. Well, the plan kind of went awry, and they needed all these extras to be on the beach, right? So they round up all the ladies here who live in my town here, and they tell them, "Hey, look, ladies, free wine on the beach, and you can be part in this movie." So that was the plan. So you just drink a bunch of wine, you're in a movie, you're an extra, you do all that. Well, that's great for them because they didn't have any speaking parts, okay? And I was planning on this thing being over well by 9 o'clock. So we start doing it. I do a few intros and where I intro him, and that's going to be in the movie. And then as it's getting later, they're trying to film more pieces, I think around 10 p.m. And by this time, just think about it, 3:30 to 10 p.m., yeah, 6.5 hours, almost 7 hours of drinking wine on the beach. There's probably 20 of us. And by the time I had to do some lines at the end of the movie or the end of the scene, man, I'll tell you, man, don't drink and act. It is so hard to remember those lines when the camera's on. So that was not a very good thing for me. But I'll tell you what, if they would have kept on time, I don't look, it's volunteer. I came out, I volunteered to help out and do the movie, for a little bit part in there. So it's kind of cool. But believe me, by the end of filming, by almost midnight, we were almost done there, 11 p.m. I think, or somewhere, 10:30, that I was done. Absolutely done. 2 sheets to the wind. And I'd love to watch the film on the last parts and see how bad I did there. But a lot of fun. First ever movie. So look forward to seeing this come out. And then I start thinking, like, what if this movie ends up being decent, like, and being a good movie? And there's a good chance of that, right? So you just don't know. And then I could be attached to something. Could this be the start of Brad Jay's acting career? I doubt it, but it's fun to talk about it, isn't it? All right. Today on the show, I want to talk about something I call false positive. Okay, so we all know nowadays with the whole COVID testing, and if you want to travel, like ever since COVID happened, I've had to travel a lot. I've had to travel internationally, I think, probably 5 times during this whole COVID situation, and I've also had to travel domestically a bunch too as well. So I've been around, so I've had to deal with all the testing. And one of the most rigorous COVID testing that took place is to go over to Tokyo. When I was hired to go to Tokyo to announce Surfing for TV, to be played in about 171 different countries over there, the plan is you have to go through strict COVID testing. Not only do you have to COVID test before you even get on a plane out of LA to go to Tokyo, but when you get to the Tokyo airport, you got to test like 3 times before you even get out of the airport. So the testing, in Vax card or not, doesn't even matter. If you vaccination card, you still got to test and show the card. If you don't have the card, you still got to test. So testing is 100%. You got to do it no matter what. So this is kind of the breakdown where I almost thought that I was not going to get a chance to do the Olympic Games in Tokyo when I just did them back in July. I thought that was it. Now, let me tell you something. I've been wanting to be part of the Olympics, and to be able to say that I've announced surfing at the Olympics for the first time. Surfing made its debut at the Olympics, and I did it for TV in those 171 different countries. That's a big, not that you need a bragging point, but that was something that was like, not the feather in the cap, but just, on a bucket list to be able to do something like that. So for me, this is probably one of the, doing surfing at the Olympics was probably the best job, or one of the most rewarding jobs that I've ever had in announcing it. It was the one I wanted so bad because it made its debut and I wanted to be the first one to do it. So that almost didn't happen. It almost didn't happen, right? So here's the deal. When you travel internationally, and when I was going to Tokyo, you need to have a negative test within 72 hours of your travel. Now that also means when you land at that destination, it can't be more than 72 hours apart, because if it is over 72 hours apart, then you're not in that realm of 72 hours. So you basically, if you're going to get your COVID test and you're going to travel internationally, especially like to Japan, that's, it's a big difference. Travel-wise, it's like a 10-hour flight. You probably want to get your test like the day before, right? And so that's what I did. So I've been going to the same testing facility in Ventura, excuse me, and I've had numerous tests from this same facility. Like when I went over to El Salvador a couple times, I had the test over there too as well. So I go to the usual testing place, Ventura, right there. You pull up in your car. I think it's called COVID Center or something like that. COVID Clinic is what it's called. And you pull up in your car, and they do the swab, the nasal swab right there in your car. You don't even get out of your car, right? So they give you the swab, boom, and then you go on about your day and whatever. And then they email you the what, either positive or negative. So they give you the results via email. And so I go get the test, and I'm like, healthy, feeling good, haven't felt sick at all, no problem. I'm 100%. So I'm fired up, getting ready to go to Japan. I'm at home packing, getting all my stuff in order. It's like I'm supposed to fly the next day. I'm pretty excited. Like my flight's at 1 p.m. the next day. And so I'm packing that night, till pretty late at night. And then I think it happens at about 9 p.m. when I'm in the middle of packing, I get the email from the COVID clinic saying that I tested positive, right? So now I'm panicking. Like this job, I had looked up to having this job at the Olympics to be part of surfing for the first time. Its introduction, it was so important to me to be able to have that job. And now that job was in jeopardy. It looks like the rug was getting pulled out from underneath me, and I wasn't going to be going to Tokyo because of this positive COVID test. So I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. So I call the COVID clinic, get on the phone to them right away, and just start like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? I'm supposed to go do the Olympics. I'm supposed to fly to Tokyo the next day. What am I supposed to do here? I have no idea what to do. Like, am I out? And so I had to email the people that I'm working for and the company I was working for and let them know, hey, look, I don't think I might not be able to get out there. And so they're scrambling to replace me and get someone to cover my job because it looks like I'm not even going to be able to fly to Tokyo because I got a positive COVID test. So I'm screwed all the way around. Lifelong dream, crushed. Am I not going? Call the lady over at COVID clinic. She says to me, she goes, don't worry about a thing. I want you to come to LA early in the morning. I'll send you to our COVID clinic in Los Angeles. That's by Los Angeles International Airport. You get your test done there and everything will be fine. And you'll be able to get on your plane and go. Whoa, wait a minute. How is everything going to be fine? And how do you know everything's going to be fine? I was blown away. I get off the phone from this person, and this is like, 9, 10 p.m. now. Supposed to fly the next day. And I'm just processing what she told me, going, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. Just come and test in the morning, and you'll be good. So how does she know that I'll be good? What gives her that even thought process that I'll be good? As far as I know, I'm not going to be good because I just tested positive. What? So she sends me an email of the address of the place to go to in Los Angeles. So I get absolutely no sleep because she sends this to me at 4 a.m, right? So I drive to the airport at, I think, like 5 a.m. because I'm about a 2-hour drive from my house to Los Angeles airport. So I get on the road, I get on the drive, and I pull up into LA, and I go to the COVID clinic, and still the whole 2 hours I'm processing what she told me, that I'll be fine, everything's going to be okay. And I'm just like, she didn't come out and say, oh, you'll be negative on the next one, but she said that everything will be okay, you'll be fine. So for her to say that to me without knowing anything about it, and she wasn't there, she was a director, so it wasn't like she was there when I got my nasal swab, right? So this is just really weird to me. So I go, find the place, take the test, and then I have to wait. I have to wait 24 hours, and I didn't have to pay for it because they did it for free for me. They're all, no, we'll do it for free, no problem at all. So it just seems weird that I test positive, you're saying everything's going to be okay, and not to worry about a thing, and I get a comp second test. Like, so, okay, all right, well, let's trust the process, right? Or process if you live in Canada. So that's how it goes, all right? An hour later, test comes back negative. So I go to LAX, show the paperwork, get on the flight, and go to Tokyo, land in Tokyo. Took 3 more tests, took 9 hours just to get out of the airport, and was in my hotel about 10, 11 hours later. And there you go. All, ready to work, ready to make it happen. So then it makes me start thinking, I was like, did I still go back? And it puzzles me to this moment, to this day. How did she know I was going to be okay? And why would you say that? How does that happen? And so then I start thinking, what's going on in NFL, Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. Him not getting vaccinated and testing positive. So besides the whole vax side of things on this, like the positive testing, like, okay, so he tested positive, and then I guess he takes 2 tests right after that were negative. So was he positive or negative? Is it actual? Did he actually have it? I don't even know. And no one makes that clear. Like, if he tested positive and 2 negatives, okay, then, So I can't even figure any of this stuff out at all. But all I know is I've signed a contract, and I'm going to Beijing to go do the Olympics out there to announce for TV, some snowboarding out there. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, there's a lot of controversy going on, but you know what? Going on Olympics, we see controversy all the time, and I'm going no matter what. So we'll see what happens unless they cancel that thing, because then I probably would not be going. So there you go. So we'll see what the protocol is for testing there. But it's just something that, you know, I didn't know what to really run the show on today, and I was just like on the Sunday, and I was just thinking about it, going, you know what? That was a weird thing, and I've never really talked about it too much. But there you go. So if you, I guess to me, to you, if you test positive for something, immediately go get tested again, just to double check that, man. Because it just seems weird that they can tell you're going to be okay if you had a positive test. So there was my false positive that I had to be right before, like the day before I went to Tokyo. But then everything turned out fine and I went. So there you go. And there you go for the podcast. We're done. Stick a fork in it. I'm over it. Your 15th day of, not your 15th day, your 14th day of November, your Sunday. I'm almost thinking it's a Monday already. Getting ahead of myself. Check me out on YouTube, Tame Your Talent. I'm going to be also putting my podcast up there on the YouTube page too as well, because just easier too for people to be able to access that. Subscribe on YouTube, Tame Your Talent. And if you'd like to email me for any questions or comments about the show, hey man, I'm down. I'm down to talk at any moment. TameYourTalent@gmail.com. TameYourTalent@gmail.com, or you can get a hold and direct message me via all my social media at Brad JAYMC, Brad JAYMC. And if you got a hankering for a classic rock, well, tune into my radio show Monday through Friday. That's at ktyd.com, 7 p.m. till midnight, California Pacific Standard Time, West Coast time, 7 p.m. to midnight on ktyd.com. That's going to do it. That's Tame Your Talent. I'm Brad J. See ya.